On this day in history, August 28th, 1521, as part of the Ottoman Wars in Europe, the Ottoman Turks occupy Belgrade. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica going over the history of the city. Belgrade, or in Serbian, Beograd, i.e., White Castle, the capital of Yugoslavia. Population 266,849. Belgrade occupies a triangular foreland at the confluence of the Sava and Danube. At the base stands Avila Hill, the last outpost of the Rudnik Mountains, and at the apex a cliff 200 feet high, crowned by the citadel, once white, but now maroon with age, used as a prison and barracks. Behind the citadel are the beautiful gardens of Kalmygdan, with a famous river view, and behind them the city of white houses. It was formerly divided into the Old Town, the Russian Town, Sava Makala, or Sava District, and the Turkish town, Dorkol, or Crossroad. Changes in the 19th century made the old divisions less clear, and there grew the Terazia, a suburb along the aqueduct, or Terazi. A few old plastered Turkish houses with red-tiled roofs are left among the insanitary riverside districts, but after 1869 Belgrade was rapidly transformed into a modern European town with wide streets, electric tramways, electric lighting, telegraphs, and telephones, while in the beginning of the 20th century, wireless was installed. Belgrade is the seat of the Metropolitan of Serbia, with a cathedral. In addition to the university, with 4 faculties, educational facilities are afforded by a military academy, a theological seminary, a commercial academy, and several secondary schools. The Court of Cassation sits at Belgrade, and also a court of appeal and a commercial tribunal. There is a fine monument of Prince Michael, 1860-68, a royal palace, much enlarged in 1925, an interesting national museum, a national library with a wealth of old Serbian monuments, a national theater, a botanical garden, rich in Balkan flora, and a parliament house. Commercial institutions include a chamber of commerce and many trade associations, and a national bank, privileged to issue notes. The bulk of the foreign trade of Serbia finds its way through Belgrade, and the town itself is engaged in brewing, iron founding, and the manufacture of cloth, woolen goods, boots, glue, sugar, soap, pottery, preserved meat, and confectionery. Belgrade is near good coal supplies, and in the neighborhood are lead mines and quarries with excellent building stone and beautiful marbles. The main railway line of Yugoslavia runs north to meet the Hungarian line to Budapest, and south through Niš and Skopje to join the Greek line to Salonika. It has many branches and is connected with the Adriatic ports Split and Sebenik. The only high roads are one going north to Smederevo and one south to Kataro, all the others being merely country roads. South of the town is the park of Topčider, with an old Turkish kiosk built for Prince Miloš, 1818-39. In the adjoining forest of lime trees called Kushnotjak, or the Deer Park, Prince Michael was assassinated in 1868. Opposite the citadel, across the Danube, lies the town of Semlin, which was Hungarian until 1918. For administrative purposes, Belgrade forms a separate department of the kingdom. The first fortification was made by Celts in the 3rd century BC, with the name Singid Onum, by which it was known until the 7th century AD. The Romans took it from the Celts and replaced their fort by a regular Roman castrum. Between the 4th and 6th centuries AD, it often changed masters: Huns, Sarmatians, Goths, Gepids. Then the Emperor Justinian made it Roman once more. Towards the end of the 8th century, it was taken by the Franks of Charlemagne. In the 9th century, by the Bulgarians, who held it till the beginning of the 11th century, when the Byzantine Emperor, Basil II, reconquered it for the Greek Empire. The Hungarians, under King Stephen, took it from the Greeks in 1124. From that time, it was again constantly changing hands, Greeks, Bulgarians, Hungarians, replacing each other in turn. The city was considered to be the key of Hungary and of Serbia also, besides giving command of traffic between the upper and lower Danube. It has, in consequence, seen more battles under its walls than most fortresses in Europe. The Turks used to call it Darul-i-Jihad, the home of wars of the faith. During the 14th century, it was in the hands of the Serbian kings, and was made capital of Serbia in 1403 by Stephen, grandson of Prince Lazar. His successor, George Branković, ceded it to the Hungarians in 1427. From 1521 to 1688 it was in Turkish hands, and again from 1739 to 1789, when the Austrians carried it by assault and lost it again in 1792. In 1807, the Serbians, having risen for their independence, took the town and held it until the end of September 1813. Up to 1862, the fortresses and the Danubian slope of the town were inhabited by Turks, living under special Turkish administration, while the modern part of the city, the plateau of the ridge and the western slope, was inhabited by Serbians living under their own authorities. This dual government was a constant cause of friction between the Serbians and the Turks, and on occasion of one conflict between the two parties, the Turkish commander of the fortress bombarded the Serbian part of the town, June 1862. Which indirectly led, in 1866, to the withdrawal of the Turkish garrison from the citadel and its delivery to the Serbians. In 1878, by the Treaty of Berlin, Belgrade became the capital of a Serbia freed at last from Turkish suzerainty. World War I began with the bombardment of Belgrade by the Austrians on July 29, 1914. In November, it was taken by the Austro-Germans, but the Serbs made a brilliant return, and in December, King Peter made a triumphant entry into his capital. In September 1915, a general attack was made by the Austrians and Germans on the river frontier, and on October 9th, the town fell. It remained in enemy hands until the end of the war, when the Kingdom of Yugoslavia came into existence. In April 1941, when the Axis invaded Yugoslavia, Belgrade was heavily bombed and was occupied by the Germans.